everybody and welcome. Today's project is going to be an adjustable dog collar. I will be using a Thane adapter for this collar. If you're not familiar with an adapter, I'll leave a link below. Regardless if you want to use Thane or leather, you can follow the same instructions in the video. I show you guys how to make your own and where to get your supplies using Thane. So for this collar, I already have my double cow's hitch hooked up already, and if you are not familiar with the double cow's hitch, I'll leave a link below. I show you guys how you can hook it. I show you guys how you can hook it up to your square rings for an adapter, or if you choose to use a quick release buckle, I show you guys how to do that as well. I also go over where to get your supplies from and how to put it on the jig if you are not familiar with that as well. So I already have my double cow's hitch hooked up to my jig, and the cord that I'm using here is silver gray, and it is 550 cord, and I'm going to be using all 550 cord today. I'll also be using burnt orange, merino, polar blue, and this golden hour. This golden hour has a shine to it. I can show you on a roll. So it definitely has a nice shine to it, and I got this at Paracord EU. I got a couple other colors too, and I'm really enjoying these colors. I think they're very pretty. So I will be using those colors today. So to start, I'm going to start with my polar blue, and what I want to do here is you can loosen up your two cow's hitches. I am using a paracord needle. If you don't have one, it's not a problem. You can melt the tip of the cord, and it creates a hard cap on it so you can push it through. So I'm going to go right through both cow's hitches, just like that. Pull this to the middle and the other side. Sorry, pull this to the middle at the top of my work. The next cord that I'm going to be adding is the merino cord, and what I want to do here is I'm going to just do the same thing that I just did with the polar blue. I'm just going to go in between those two cow's hitches and bring the middle to the top of my work. The next cord that I'm going to add is the golden hour, and what I want to do here is I'm going to actually go in between my first cow's hitch on my right, and I'm going to go underneath these two stitches and then come up the middle of the other cow's hitch on my left. So I'm going to go in between one, underneath the two stitches in the middle, and come up the second cow's hitch and pull the middle to the top of my work. And for the last cord, I'm going to be doing the same thing that I just did with the golden hour. I'm going to go in between the first cow's hitch, underneath those two stitches again, and come up the second cow's hitch in the middle of it, just like that, and pull this one. Also, bring the middle to the top of my work. Alright, once you're to this point, I do suggest double checking your measurements, make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be, tighten everything up, and then you can roll up your ends to make it a little bit more easier to work with. Alright, now that we got all of that out of the way, let's just get started on this project. So I'm going to be starting off on my right side with the silver gray, and I'm going to go underneath this cord on my right up the middle over this second cord on my left. Let's go underneath, right up the middle, and then over. Take your silver gray on your left side now and go underneath the cord that you just worked. You're going to go underneath this first cord now that is on your left, right up the middle, and then over the second cord that is on my right. So go underneath, right up the middle, and then over. And if you take your 2 index fingers, you can stick them in these little loops here and kind of make a triangle. It does make it a little bit easier to work with. Now I'm going to take my polar blue that is on my right side, and I want to go underneath, right up the middle, and then down this loop on my right. So take your polar blue on the right, and you're going to go underneath, right up the middle, and then down this loop on your right. Take the one on the left, go underneath again, right up the middle, but go down this loop on the left. So take your polar blue on your left, go underneath, right up the middle, and then down this loop on your left. And now we can find these 2 horizontal silver gray pieces in the middle. You can pick up on those. I'm going to take my marina blue on my right side, and I'm going to go over and around and out the right. Let's go over and around them and out the right. Take the one on the left now and go over and around, come out the left. So go over and around and out the left. The next cord that I'm going to add is the golden hour cord on my right side, and I'm going to go again over and around and out my right with the right cord. So you're just repeating what you did with your marina blue. Go over and around and out the right, and then with the left one you're going to go over and around and out the left. Let's go over and around, out the left. And now for the burnt orange, you're just going to repeat those steps again. So take the one on the right, go over and around and out the right. Take the one on the left, go over and around and out the left. And then you can tighten it up. Once you have it nice and tight, you're just going to start that weave all over again. So I'm going to start with my silver gray on my right side, and I'm going to go underneath the first cord, right up the middle, and then over. Take the one on the left now and go underneath the cord that you just worked, right up the go underneath the first cord, right up the middle, and then over. Next, I'm going to take my polar blue on my right, again, go underneath, right up the middle, and then down that loop on the right. Take the one on the left, go underneath, right up the middle, down that loop on the left. Now find those 2 horizontal silver gray pieces that are in the middle, and you can pull up on them. Take your midnight blue, and you're going to go on the right, and you're going to go over and around and out your right. Take the one on the left, you're going to go over and around and out the left. Take your golden hour, and you're going to repeat that step that you just did with the midnight blue, the marina blue. So you're going to go with the right, over and around, out the right. Take the one on the left, go over and around and out the left. And then for the burnt orange, again, just repeat those steps. So take the one on the right, go over those 2 horizontal pieces, around, out the right. Take the one on the left, go over and around, out the left, and then tighten it up. Alright, once you have that tightened up, again, just start from the very beginning. And this is the same weave that you're going to be doing all the way down the collar. So you're going to start on your right, take your silver gray, and go underneath, right up the middle, and then over with the right. Take the one on the left, go underneath the cord that you just worked, underneath the first cord, right up the middle, and then over that second cord. And now take your polar blue, go underneath your work, right up the middle, and then down that loop. On your right, take the one on the left, go underneath, right up the middle, down that loop on your left. Get those two horizontal pieces. Take your keep on calling it that. Take your marina blue on your right side and go over and around and out the right. Take the one on the left, go over and around and out the left. Then take your golden hour and repeat those steps. Take the one on the right, go over and around, out the right. Take the one on the left, go over and around and out the left. And for the goldenrod, again, just repeat those steps. So take the one on the right, over and around those two horizontal pieces and out the right. The one on the left, over and around and out the left, and then tighten it up. Okay, so I went 2 more weaves down so you can see a bigger portion done, and this is what it's starting to look like. And I'm going to continue this weave all the way down the collar. When I get to the end, I'll show you guys how I do my tie off and what it looks like with the adapter attached. Okay, I'm at the end of my collar. I took it off the jig, and the cords that we're going to weave in from front to back are the cords that are coming directly out of the top part of the collar. The ones that are coming out of the side, the polar and the silver, those will be cut and melt where they are. So I'm going to start with the marina cord, the blue, all the way to my right, and you have a gap in between your work and your 2 cow hitches. You're going to go in that gap with both of the blue cords and both of the golden cords. You're going to go through that gap. Alright, once you have that taken care of, next we're going to take our burnt orange cords . What we're going to do is we're going to go in between the 2 cow hitches. You have a small gap in between those 2 cow hitches, and you're going to stick both burnt orange cords from front to back through that small gap. Once we have that done, we can start to cut and melt everything. So I'm going to start off on my sides, and I'm going to go about 1/2 inch up from the collar. I'm going to fray them out. Before you cut, I do apologize, I should have said this, you're going to want to tighten everything up, and sometimes you get a little bump at the top of your work. You can smooth that out by pressing in and then pulling on the cords that are coming through the back. Once you have them frayed, you're going to melt them and squish them down. Be careful, they do catch on fire sometimes. It happens to me more often than I would like. So I'm going to start with the top one, and I want it to be super melty, and then I'm just going to squish that down. And now I will do the blue, or the polar. Squish that one down. And now you can do the same on the opposite side. Once you have the 2 sides taken care of, you can start on the middle cords. What I like to do is I like to start on my left side, and I will start with the one that's all the way to the left. I will cut it about the same length. I will fray it out a little bit, and then I will melt it and squish it down. Now if you start off on the left side, you can hold these other cords out of the way, and your flame will go this way so it shouldn't melt anything else. And I'm going to melt it. And then I'm going to squish it down. Next I will do the golden, and then I'll do the other golden, and then the last blue cord, and then I will do these two last because they're going to go directly on top of these cords. Okay, once you're done melting everything, you can hook up your adapter and use the collar as is. I put a little bit of Gorilla Glue on the ends that I melt for just a little bit of extra security. I use clear, non-foaming Gorilla Glue. And I can't get the top off. Okay. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the ends that I melted. And I usually just smear it around with my finger. It is waterproof. And I've been doing this since forever. And I've never had any complaints that I know of that anybody has told me that my stuff has come apart. So I do suggest it. So I'm going to let that dry, and when it's done, I'll show you guys what it looks like with the Thane attached.